So we have to have an opening. You're just gonna say your
Josh
name.
and
I got
Sav.
it. That's Jacob. Babe, I've watched the movie.
Slice and rice.
Why do you know like every?
This
Okay, so ours is Sincerely the Smiths.
Ew.
You don't like that?
Why is that?
Sincerely the Smiths. What?
You could have been something like. That's just like.
So what
Okay,
name
whatever.
would you
That's
have
fine.
chose?
No, that's cool.
What name
All
would
right.
you have chose?
But you're saying I'm not. We're not. It's not like a we say at the same time thing. You say it. Go ahead.
Okay, guys. So welcome back to our podcast. This is what's her name? Wait. Okay. Okay. My name's Chanel.
Raymond.
And this is Sincerely the Smiths. So, guys, I'm so glad you're here. We're just gonna start off. I wanted to do something kind of fun. Okay? So we're gonna talk about our childhood favorites. Okay?
Okay.
Alright. Starting with your favorite breakfast as a child.
Anything bacon sausage.
Really?
Anything.
Oh man.
Bacon sausage. And my mom used to make both. Like, people make like just bacon, just what we made. Bacon and sausage.
I feel like liked actual breakfast food. For me, it was like a bowl of Apple Jacks or
Bacon
like
and
some
sausage.
strawberry Pop-Tarts. But you got meat. I'm eating junk.
Bacon and sausage.
Okay. All right. Favorite cartoon?
How young are we talking? Like you said, childhood. Like
Yeah, just think of your childhood.
I was all in South Park. When I was
At
like
what age?
7, 8.
Y'all. If y'all know my husband, this explains so much about his sense of humor. At 6?
7, around 7, 7, 8.
I only saw that because my oldest brother would watch that mess. But for me, I was an Angry Beavers girl. I loved Angry Beavers. You know?
You do like Daggett or something.
I was really into Courage the Cowardly Dog too. That was a problem. I used to stay up late at night scared watching that. It was a really creepy show for kids.
I used to watch that, but then I'll make sure I watch something else after, like SpongeBob.
Yeah, of course. You have to watch something lighthearted. Okay, let's do one more. Let me think. Okay, candy.
I only got a favorite. I just ate
You didn't have favorite?
candy. I just ate whatever. I like
He
Skittles.
still eats candy to this
I like
day.
lemonades now, but childhood favorite, anything really.
Mars bar. And I don't even think they make them anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
That didn't count. Okay, favorite drink.
And juice. I don't know.
Mountain Dew.
I didn't have a childhood. I just drunk.
Babe, you're
Juice.
so okay. Now you're getting boring. Okay,
I'm
move
boring.
along.
I'm very boring. Straightforward.
It's okay. All right, guys. So we are in 8 years of marriage now, and I just kind of want to talk about like the different things that we are learning. How much we felt like we've grown and different stuff like that. So I wrote down some stuff, babe. You want to talk about? Let's talk about. First, let's just start light. What do you feel like is the biggest thing you've learned throughout these 8 years of marriage?
About marriage or about you?
You're married to me.
Oh, I mean, it's still.
Oh, where else you gonna learn from?
So about you.
About our marriage, yeah. What have you learned? Oh, I have to answer this question too.
You want you go first?
No, because I'm still thinking.
I'm still thinking.
Okay, I think one thing I've been learning to do is to, when I feel upset, I've been learning, and I'm not saying I always get this right, so don't be scrunching up your face. I've been learning to just just be quiet. And it's more so in those moments, so whack. It's more so in those moments when when it comes to, it's been a lot more so like when it comes to dealing with our kids. What in the world was that? It died. We're having technical difficulties because I did not charge that like it.
It doesn't look horrible. It's okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, we had to fix that light real quick, yeah. Oh, why didn't you remind me? And I put my leg up there. Okay. All right. Yeah, I feel like I've learned to be more quiet when it's come to like the discipline of our kids. Because sometimes we don't always agree on how to discipline them and things like that. But there's been times where I've made Ray feel, I don't know what's the word, only you can describe it. I feel like I made him feel like he wasn't the leader, I guess, or like I just was cutting him off, like when he would try to say something or whatever, and it made him feel away. So I've been trying to work on not doing that, and then if I have something to say, just wait till he's done talking to the kids and talk to him later. If it's if I really need to say something.
I guess mine
You haven't noticed that?
Oh, okay. Maybe mine is it's always good to communicate your feelings. Which is not easy for me because I'm not a big communicator, I guess, for what my wife will say. But communication has definitely helped. Saying how you feel, saying what you like, saying what you love, stuff like that.
What do you mean from what your wife would say though? Because you've told me that yourself, based upon your background.
Well, you said it more.
But yeah, I feel like backgrounds can play a big part in all of that. Just differences in your relationship and things like that. So learning how to come to an agreement on how you're going to operate is very, very important. Where do you see us, or where would you like us to be in our relationship and how we deal with one another? Where would you like to see us in like a few years, or?
I think we're on the right track. We start communicating more. We know somewhat of what we like. I think we're on the right track, so I think.
But where would you like to see? Like, is there anywhere you would like, any part of our marriage that you would like to see better?
We're on the right track. I mean, there's nothing. we're getting there. We're communicating better.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's probably the best. That's probably the thing that we needed the most, really, communication.
Yeah. I would say forgiving each other quicker. That's what I would like to see it at. See us, because I don't know. For me, I feel like sometimes I just struggle so hard internally with that thing. Like sometimes I will have to literally say just to myself, like, okay, Lord, I don't want to hold on to this. And I think sometimes you just still feeling like the pain or the sting of it. And maybe sometimes you can be confusing that with as if you're not forgiving the person, but maybe that's just like okay, you need a little bit of healing, or your pride was just, just shot at, and you gotta humble yourself and let that thing go. But yeah, I feel like internally, sometimes I'll have that struggle, so I just I'll literally pray and just be like, well, Lord, by faith I forgive him. Like, I'm just gonna keep saying it until it's gone, until it's lifted. And to be honest, like, I'm the type of person, I don't like being upset with you or you being upset with me. Like, it literally, I can't go on. You know, some people, like, they'll have an issue with you and they'll just go on about their day like it's nothing. Like, for me, I'm thinking about that thing. Like, all day long, I'm thinking about that thing. It's messing with me, and it just makes me feel sad, and I hate it. I don't like the way it feels at all. So yeah, but okay, guys, I wanted to talk about. We've been in a space where we've just been being like more vulnerable about things, and it's not like. Do you feel like? I don't feel like anybody feels like it's easy.
No.
What do you think makes it hard, being vulnerable?
It's just being vulnerable. You don't want to tell people certain things that might make you feel like you're weak if you say something specific. Or, I mean, I don't know any man that like wants to be vulnerable, but
Oh, I say woman too.
it just being able to speak freely about certain topics is a good start, and I think lately we've been doing better.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what makes me feel nervous about vulnerability is just not wanting to be judged or seen or have an area of weakness exposed, because I feel like it can make you feel lesser than or be viewed lesser than. So kind of like what you said. And it's just a scary feeling, because it's like, okay, if I tell this person this, you know, are they gonna still love me enough not to shun me for how I feel or for what I may be struggling with? Will they still love me, you know, for me personally? I'm not sure about everybody else. So I kind of wanted to talk, if you're comfortable, on... okay, we'll skip it.
What do you want to
On some of the things we were vulnerable with. So this would be hard for me too. Okay, so for me, and it was funny because our co-pastor kind of spoke on the same thing. But it's funny how you, like, when you speak on a thing, you realize, well, not even that. And then when you hear other people talk, like, when you speak on a thing and you hear other people talk, you realize you're not the only person that deals with what you're dealing with, you know? And I feel like some people may need to hear this just so that they can have help too, with whatever situation they're in. So I shared some struggles with my husband that I was having. And y'all, I have been struggling telling him this for like months, but just thoughts that I would deal with in my mind. Temptations from the enemy, as far as like wanting attention. I don't know, and I feel like some of it comes from things from my childhood that I dealt with, things with like my dad and things, even though our relationship is awesome right now. It's much better. But as a young girl, I felt like a lot of his attention would go to the women he was dating. At a certain point in my childhood, he stopped kind of coming around, and he was dealing with some things too. He had lost his sister, which was really hard for him. And I was vulnerable with him, but he was, because of the space he was in, he was unable to receive me when I told him how I felt. and he just pretty much told me he's not gonna change for anybody. And so, imagine how that felt as a young girl to hear that, from your dad. It hurt. And we're, like I said, me and my dad are in such a better place. Like, God has done so much work on him and so much work on me. And we've both grown so much. And I'm just thankful to God for that. And then there was a time with my husband that I felt like, he just kind of wasn't giving me the attention I felt I needed. And I had a weak moment where I was about to go try to seek it from somebody else, but I stopped myself or whatever. But I heard testimonies of just like being transparent with your spouse about moments of weakness and things like that. But this was something I was really embarrassed about. I mean, and I just, I would try to, like, if I had crazy thoughts, most of the time just try to pray it away or whatever. And I just couldn't understand, like, what is, like, sometimes you just feel like, what is wrong with me? Like, what is my problem? Or whatever. I mean, I chalk it up to the flesh. I chalk it up to your life experiences and different things like that. But after like praying, guys, when I tell you that night before I spoke to Ray, I had to use the bathroom like several times because I was panicking on the inside because I didn't want him to feel like, I didn't love him. I didn't want him to feel insecure. I didn't want him to hate me. All these different types of things. But when I came to him, he literally just did the opposite. I'm sorry. I was expecting to cry. But he just, showed me the love of God. And, and then it just was even a moment where he's like, I deal with thoughts too. Like, so it just helped to be open and to be honest. And I feel like when you, push past whatever it is that's keeping you from talking to your spouse, when they're a godly spouse, like, I feel like the Lord will, help them in that situation. And then too, you have somebody who knows now what you're dealing with and can pray for you. Instead of you trying to deal with whatever that thing is on your own. Yeah. So I just feel like being vulnerable is a good thing. And it could be really helpful in some ways. Whew. Okay. I don't know if you want to talk about your vulnerable space.
What was that? What's that?
What you shared with me.
What did I share?
That's because we weren't having the.
So we were. This was a little while back. We were, I guess, not intimate as much. So I expressed my feelings about it. It was very hard to want to say it because it almost makes you sound like, you're punk or you're weak type of thing. So we finally talked about it, and she shared her views about it, and there were certain things that just go on with, I guess, women's bodies. Her just having a baby and then just being busy with things, being busy all day with the baby and the kid, and people just get tired. People, don't think about certain things as much as their spouse sometimes. So we spoke about that, and things have definitely been better. And if we didn't talk about it, we'd probably still be going on, months and months.
Yo.
which it felt like months and months, I guess, to a guy, you know. But my wife assures me that it wasn't months and months.
No.
But
it could have been. It could have been better. I'll be honest. It could have been better.
So that was hard for me to express that, even though it's my wife. I just don't usually talk about certain things because it makes me. I feel like it'll make me look a certain way, and makes you feel weird.
Yeah, and that was a hard little patch, but I'm glad he talked to me, and I just didn't. I mean, you could. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just glad we talked about it because I feel like it has gotten better, and I did want to like just speak a little bit more. I wanted to speak on like some of the stuff he was saying that I was dealing with. So I had I already knew kind of what it was, but I just did like a little bit of research. And the only reason I want to speak about this is because I want to help other married couples like who may be having the same issues. I do hear a lot that men say women seem to not like want it
They
as
lose
much.
their drive when they get older.
Yeah, no.
That's what I
not
hear.
when they get older.
That's what I hear.
Oh.
When they get older, they don't.
Somebody said in your 40s women, that's when they hit their prime. So I don't know.
Heard that one.
I don't know. I did. But, okay, so
It's an Oprah too much.
I'm in postpartum, so I'll just talk from the postpartum point of view of things. So there's sleep deprivation. You can get vaginal dryness. You're breastfeeding. All these things affect your body. So the lack of sleep, it can exacerbate those conditions of like that sleep depression, like depression and anxiety, which can cause, and stress, and that can cause conflict with your partner, of course, but it's going to heighten more stress. And they said stress is like the biggest killer of your sex drive. You guys can look this up because I don't have like all the scientific facts here, but even nursing, they said it's like a double whammy because you produce a hormone called prolactin, and that stimulates breast milk production, which you need, but it can further dampen your sex drive as well. And when you're tired, nobody feels like doing anything. You're just sleepy. You just want to lay down. And sleep deprivation can make you cranky too at the same time. But it's like, even though you're dealing with all those things, if you can, I was listening to one lady, she was saying, to prioritize sex and try not to let like a week go by. Because the more sex you have, it can actually contribute to better sleep because it induces hormones that give a pleasant and relaxing feeling. It can reduce levels of cortisol, which is associated with stress. And it can also produce greater feelings of closeness and intimacy between you and your partner, which is also conducive for sleep. Now, if you got a newborn baby, that's just going to be hard anyway. But I feel like anything to help just relax you. Because when you're constantly, for me, after constantly having to wake up and being stressed from waking up, like I start to get wound up sometimes. And then sometimes at night when I get ready to go to bed, I'm already feeling stressed because I'm like, oh, here we go again. You know what I'm saying? So prioritizing the sex, I feel like for me, has actually been making me feel better. And one thing shut up. One thing I've been doing is like before we have sex, like I take a because they said take a bath. So I don't really want to do a bath, so I just take a hot shower. And after I wash up, I just stand there for a moment. And that's relaxing. Just hearing the water and I'm just letting the water hit all the sore spots and all that. That is calming. And then, we go in. and do the do. And guys, to be honest, the more we've been doing it lately, I feel like my sex drive is trying to come back. So that feels good. And shut up. And there's also studies that say sex can help reduce stress because it induces like those endorphins and things like that. So it's like while you're dealing with all these things, ladies, sex can also be like the helper, you know.
It's
So
the answer.
the what?
You're suppressing the answer.
Suppressing the answer?
It's the answer.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it can be the answer. I'm not trying to suppress it. You know, it can be a good help. You know what I'm saying? But give yourself grace, especially if you just had a baby. Give yourself grace. It's not easy. I myself am experiencing that vaginal dryness. I hate saying that, but it's just honest. This is just stuff that we go through in life with our bodies. Here I am after my fourth child, and for the first time, I'm experiencing vaginal dryness, and it sucks. But there's lubrication, ladies. There's things that can help. I don't mean to make it awkward. I really want to help people. Because it doesn't, to be honest, it didn't make me feel good to not be pleasing you. That's not a good feeling. I don't want my husband to feel like, oh, my wife's not pleasing me. You know, that I don't think any wife wants to feel like that. Wants to feel like they're not pleasing their spouse. And I just think, you know, both parties need to be mindful of how each other feel and be willing to listen to what each other are saying without feeling like, oh, you're just being this or you're being that. Because it can be easy to feel that way, especially when somebody is pointing out an area of weakness. You know what I'm saying? It could be easy to feel like, hey, you know, that pride try to come up or whatever. But if you can just humble yourself and hear with love what your spouse is saying, I feel like it can be so helpful. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know you're ready for it to be over. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it blessed you.
Ladies, get off this video and go find your man. That's what you do.
Babe, shut up. But yeah, you're so silly. All right, y'all. Let us know what else you guys want us to talk about. If you have any questions you want to ask us or any, you know, just ideas for different topics, we love to know. We love to share some things we've been through, some things that have helped us, and hopes that it will help you as well. All right? Y'all be blessed. Bye. You gotta say bye.
Oh, bye.
He said, oh, bye.